Guys, today we're making cheesy cheeseburger potato soup and we're using Velveeta cheese. First thing we're gonna do is take a whole pound of bacon. I sliced it up and we're gonna cook that down. By the way, this is the extended version. I do have a short on this same recipe as well. I'm still at my son and daughter-in-law's this week because they just had a new baby. This is our first grandbaby, so I've been there just kind of cooking and helping out where I could. I went ahead and removed the bacon from the pan and let that set aside on a paper towel. I removed most of the grease from the pot. I'm using a Dutch oven today. And I added a pound of ground beef. And then you can just season this ground beef with whatever you like. I did salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. Don't worry about all the brown bits on the side. That's the beauty of the Dutch oven. As we cook, all this stuff will cook off. All the brown bits will come off. And this is a really easy pot to clean. I love using these because of the ceramic coating. Again, just season with whatever you like. Like I said, I use salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning, and I really just use a dash of salt because of the bacon. It's pretty salty. I used the leanest hamburger meat I could find, and so there was hardly any grease. I went ahead and removed that from the pan, and I set that on a paper towel. Now we're gonna add about a half a stick of butter to the pan and let that melt down. I'm adding my onion, celery, and carrot mix. You can find this pre-chopped at Walmart usually, or you can just chop it up yourself. I like to do them fine, so this one that I get at Walmart is nice because they're really small pieces. And then I just kind of work that around. I'm still getting up some of those brown bits. And then I went ahead and threw in the other half of that stick of butter because why not? Once that's cooked down a little bit and the onions look translucent, I went ahead and added a 1/4 cup of flour and I worked that in. I then came in with just a little more pepper. I like it peppery. You can do it your way, of course. And another couple dashes of the Italian seasoning. At this point, I added a couple tablespoons of chopped garlic, and you just want to be careful not to let that burn. I had chopped up about 5 medium to large potatoes, and I added those here. Just kind of gave them a good mix. And then I'm going to come in with the ground beef that we cooked and set aside. And then I added a full box of chicken broth. I think it's 28 or 32 ounces. You could probably also add the family size box. It's a little bigger. Once the broth was added, I gave everything a really good mix and just kind of pushed everything under the liquid, put the top on it, and then I let that simmer for probably about 10 to 15 minutes or so. You just want to simmer until the potatoes are fork tender. Now that the potatoes are fork tender, we're going to come in with the good stuff. I came in with 1.5 cups of milk. And then I'm going to add an entire block of Velveeta cheese. At this point, you're going to keep stirring a bit because you just want that cheese to melt all the way down. I also added about 1 cup of sour cream and I mixed that in. And like I said, I'm just stirring a bit as we go. Once it's pretty melted down, I did cover it and let it simmer for a little bit and then gave it one last stir before we served it. I almost forgot the best part. Add your bacon back in too. Like I said, I then covered it, let it simmer for a little bit, and when I popped the top off, it was just creamy and delicious. I stirred it up just a little bit more, and it was perfectly melted, and we served it up. This is a very hearty and tasty soup, great for game day in the wintertime. I hope you give it a try. Enjoy.